Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and you will notice, if you've been following this channel for a little while, this is not my kitchen. No, this is my friend Melanie's kitchen in North Texas. That's because I have moved to North Texas and my kitchen isn't quite ready for me to videotape in yet. So over the next couple of weeks, you're gonna see me at my friends' houses and my family and all over the place as my kitchen gets ready to receive me and all of my adventures. So I hope you'll join along. I hope you'll stick with me as, you know, some of the videos, who knows? And that's what it's all about, adventuring in your kitchen in all new ways. And what's a better way than in a new kitchen? So today's video, we're actually going to do another pop can recipe. This is with crescent rolls and Oreo cookies. So you guys are really enjoying the pop can recipes, which I call them pop can. It's refrigerated biscuits or crescents, but they're pop can to me. You've really enjoyed those and you have asked for more. And I saw this one and I thought, you know what? This is a great recipe for you and I to adventure with together. It's super simple. There are 4 ingredients, pop can crescent rolls, Oreos, milk, and powdered sugar, and that is it. So are you ready? Let's go. Okay, let's set these aside and try not to eat them all. I do know that you can use any Oreos that you want. You don't have to use just the regular Oreos, but since I am cooking for Melanie and her husband Colin, I thought I would just stick with their normal Oreos to start with. But there's Nutella Oreos, there's caramel coconut Oreos, there's birthday cake Oreos. The sky is the limit when it comes to this recipe because any of them will work. In fact, any cookie will work inside of this recipe. You'll see. It's pretty fantastic. Whoa! That's why I call them pop can, because they just pop whenever they want. My confession is I've actually already made these just to test them out and they were fantastic. We made them with Nutella Oreos and you guys, this is so fun. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We are going to unwrap our crescent dough. So there are some recipes that say you should pinch together the edges and then cut them into squares. Don't bother, that's too much work. You actually can leave them just in the triangles, just like this, and it will work fantastically. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1 Oreo and 1 triangle of crescent dough. We are going to set the Oreo right down in the fattest part of it. And we are gonna stretch the dough up and over this Oreo. And we are gonna cover the Oreo completely. Now, all of this tail that's left off, cut that off. So just use a little knife and cut that off and save that because that's gonna be used for another Oreo in just a second. So we're just going to cut as much dough off as we need to get it wrapped around. And see that? As long as you can see no more Oreo, you're good to go. So now let's do that with all of the rest of these. And then as I mentioned, you can use the offcuts to just kind of mummy wrap a couple more of these Oreos. You just would need to kind of piece it together and do the best you can covering up all of your Oreo. One of the reasons that you want to make sure the Oreo is nice and sealed is because as it cooks, the steam inside the dough, or the butter inside the dough really, will help that Oreo to soften up just a little bit and make it absolutely delicious. These are quite a treat. So if you are an Oreo lover, you may need to try this. See that? 2 little offcuts will make one just fine. The other thing I wanted to mention is that you definitely want to make sure that you don't have any air bubbles. So any air bubbles between the cookie and the pastry will cause the pastry to rise a little bit too much and may fall off of your cookie. I have not had that happen, although I've only made them once, but some of the recipes that I read said that that is a distinct possibility. So the offcut ones aren't exactly the prettiest, as you can see, but they turn out just as beautiful, just as delicious, maybe I should say. All right, and there we have our cookies all ready to go into the air fryer. Now, you have two choices when it comes to the deluxe air fryer, or really any air fryer. You could use the small bar pan from Pampered Chef, which works really, really well, and I'll show you why in just a moment, or you can just use your regular rack. Now, the reason this one works really well is because the crescent dough kind of does fall down inside the rack, you know, because the little holes inside of it. So it does stick just a little bit, but it didn't stick enough for me to care too much. However, the pan did not stick at all. So I'm gonna do both of those so that you can see them. But I wanted you to know those differences between these two pans. Also, if you're using a basket air fryer, the bottom of your basket, obviously it's non-stick, and when you put them in there, if they're over the little air holes, they will kind of go in a little bit, so be careful when you turn them over at the halfway mark. So then the next step is going to be a milk wash over all of them. Now, I read several recipes over the last couple weeks, and some of them used a milk wash and some of them did not. So if you don't have milk and don't want to do this step, that is totally up to you, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it because I love the way they look when they come out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually milk wash them before they go on my pan, because any milk that drips on our baking sheet or anywhere else is gonna be kind of sticky and hard to get off, because milk has actually quite a bit of sugar in it. So we're just gonna use a little bit, and we're going to milk wash the tops of these. Okay, and I'm gonna leave one with no milk wash just so that you can see the difference between what it looks like when there's milk wash and what it looks like when there's not. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stick the non-milk washed one in the corner here, and then we'll just place the other ones right. And we'll just put 5 on the tray to start with. And we'll start with this tray because this one is the one that I prefer cooking with. So we're gonna get it on air fry at 350 for 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, we're gonna get in there and we're gonna turn them all over. And then we're gonna do it for another 4 minutes or until they are golden brown all the way around. When I did it the first time, it did only take that 4 minutes and 4 minutes. So if you have an air fryer that tells you when to flip it over, definitely just set it for the 8 minutes. If you don't have an air fryer that has the beep reminder, that, you know, the midway point, definitely just set it for 4 minutes so that you remember to turn it over in the middle. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our rack in the middle position, and then we're gonna put our small bar pan right on top. And now we are going to hit custom for 350 for 8 minutes and go. Now, if you aren't using the small bar pan, you're just going to use a regular rack. I do suggest that you oil it so that it comes up a little easier, but I'm gonna show you how it works if you don't oil it. It's fine, but you'll see there is a little bit of stickage. So we're gonna be able, and the benefit to using this larger tray is it fits way more than just 5. So if I was doing all of these, it would have probably fit 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them right on one tray. So that's the benefit of using this one. Okay, I will be back when this comes out to show you the results and finish them up and take a bite and show you how delicious they are. Okay, we'll be back in about 8 minutes. Okay, here we are at the halfway point, and I thought I would show you what they look like at the halfway point and that we need to turn them over. See that? Don't they look beautiful? And this one right here is the one with no milk on it. All right, we'll see you back here in about another 4 minutes. It's done. Time to check out these beauties. Look at how brown and beautiful those are. So before I go into here, let's go ahead and get the second set in while I talk about this one, so I can show you whenever you turn them over what it's like. Custom, 8 minutes, 350, go. Okay, look at these beautiful little pockets of joy. Oh, they're beautiful. Okay, so here we have these beautiful, and I'm just going to stick them on this pretend cooling rack because I don't have a cooling rack here. I did not bring one, but this is what you're gonna do. And then we'll go ahead and turn them over so that we can dust the right side. Now I completely forgot which one was the one that didn't get, I think it was this one. This one did not get the milk because there's no shininess to it. See that shiny and there's no shiny on this one? That's literally the only difference between these two. So your next step is to sprinkle with powdered sugar. So I have some powdered sugar here in this bowl and I have a very large sieve because that's what I have. And we're just gonna sprinkle some powdered sugar in there. And then we're going to dust the cookies like so. And voila, they're done. Now I know that some people will ask, do they stay crispy? They actually do. I made a whole set of these over at my mother-in-law's house and they sat around for about 3 hours before they were all consumed. And the ones that were cold were actually very crunchy, just like they are right now. So I will wait a couple minutes until these are nice and cool before I try them. But I will be back in just about 2 minutes to show you what I mean by it kind of sticks to the rack, because I really do want you to see that. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, halfway mark. So see how beautiful these are? Now watch when I turn them over. They're kind of sticking. So that is why you definitely, I almost want to use my hands so I can feel. You definitely either want to oil this pan or use a different pan. Ow, that's hot. The good news is because of how much dough is on the bottom of these, the stickage doesn't matter too much to the cookie itself, but there you go. There's the stickage that I was talking about. Oh well, so let's get those back in. Okay, I will be back after that 4 minutes is up to taste them and show you why these are something that you definitely need to make in your air fryer. Okay, we'll be back. Okay, the time is up and it's time to take these out and check it out. So on the back side, they look pretty treacherous because they stuck. But if you turn them over, they look just as beautiful as the first ones. So even though they stick, it's okay. It does not ruin your cookie. But you can definitely tell which ones came from the tray and which ones came from the small bar pan, because the ones that came from the tray do have that crisscross pattern. Doesn't make them any less delicious. Once you put the powdered sugar on it, you don't even notice it. So let's sprinkle that powdered sugar right over. And oh my goodness, you guys, these are like, they remind me of beignets, and but they are so much better than any beignet you will ever eat. I mean, maybe it's just my opinion. And they were so easy. Like that was that not easy? Okay, ooh, which one do I want to eat? Probably one of the cool ones. So I will go ahead and take this one right here, and we're gonna show you how delicious they are. Oh my goodness. You see the cookie inside of there? These are so good. Just biting into it makes my mouth water even more than it's already watering. This is such a fun cookie, and it is by far one of the easiest desserts with pop can recipes. Those Nutella donuts that I did back before I left California, they were fine. They were a little fiddly, yes, but man, these ones right here, if you like Oreo cookies, shoot, if you like any cookies, wrap them in crescent dough, and it's really naughty. And the crescent is so flaky and crispy. It is a really fantastic dessert. And they look beautiful. But you don't have to believe me. No, you can go and do it yourself with just 2 or 3 ingredients. You don't really have to put the powdered sugar on them, but they're pretty good. You don't have to put the milk on them, but again, makes them a little shinier. You guys, I suggest that if you're not gluten-free, you should try this. Now, those of us who are gluten-free, I mean, obviously these aren't gluten-free. There are gluten-free Oreos, and I am trying to get my hands on some gluten-free pastry that's pre-made because I think that it might just work. In fact, I know it will. I had a go-to place that I could get my gluten-free pastry sheets at, but I haven't found that place here. So I'm gonna be looking, and if I can get a gluten-free one to turn out like this, I don't know. This might just have to be one of those go-to every Sunday or every, just once a week. I have to limit myself to once a week and maybe just make this many for, 12 people because they're that good. All right, you guys, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week. Right now, I'm gonna be everywhere because I don't have a kitchen yet. We close in just a couple of days, and then there's some things that I need to do to the kitchen before I am ready to go. But soon enough, I will get to reveal this new kitchen, and I hope that you're gonna continue to adventure with me in the new season of my life. So, all right, well, we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye.